Today I'm going to be making an umbrella with some water drips coming down onto a tray. I remember having a clear umbrella when I was younger, a bit like this sort of thing here. So I thought I'd make it in clear resin, but I want the handle to be silver. So I'm going to be using the Let's Resin metallic powder in the silver first and adding that to the handle of the umbrella. So just going to brush that into there. And I think both these sides, once you demold them, you stick them together. So I think doing it silver, I'll be able to stick them without any sort of glue showing. And then I'll do a silver trim around the edge of the umbrella to match. So I'll just get this burnished in to start with. So now that's all done and coated, I'll just go and get some resin mixed up and then we can get started. I've mixed up some of the Let's Resin 1:1 epoxy resin, so I've got that in there, and I've made sure to scrape all around the sides of my pot there just to make sure it's thoroughly mixed in. I've got lots of little micro bubbles in there, but I'm not concerned about that at all because Let's Resin have very kindly sent me out their new upgraded AIRZERO Pro resin bubble remover machine. So let's take a look at it. So as usual with all Let's Resin products, you get a lovely detailed instruction manual there to follow, and the instructions on this are so simple and easy anyway. Right, so to start with, you've got this dome section here that just lifts on and off. You've got a nice little silicone mat there to catch any drips from it overflowing. So to stop it overflowing, you want to make sure that when you've got your resin in your pot, you only want to fill your pot around halfway, so you've still got all that leftover room for when the bubbles come up to the surface and release. So this nice wide base, you can fit at least 3 of these smaller, what size mil are these? 240 mil these hold, and you can easily fit 3 of those in there. I've only got that one larger one at the moment, so I can't see how many of the larger ones it will hold, but you can get a decent amount of cups into there. Apart from this beautiful new purple colour, the main upgrade lies in the higher power performance with its new quad core setup, which dramatically speeds up the debubbling process. So nice and easy to use. Pop your lid off, pop your resin in the middle there. Let's take out that stick, get rid of that for a minute, and then pop your lid back on. Oh, and just a word of caution, when you're taking the lid on and off, just make sure you take it straight up and over so you don't end up knocking your bottles. Just need to turn the machine on. Once the machine's turned on, you'll see it says 0 there, so you've got a timer plus and minus here. So all you need to do is turn it round. You've got 5 minutes, 5.5, 6, 6.5, so it goes up and down in 30-second increments. So I think we'll set it for, let's do 5, because now it's got that upgraded quad core, it should be nice and quick. Once it's finished its 5-minute countdown, it will automatically do its own degassing process. So it will automatically switch off, release any air that's in the chamber, so you don't even have to worry about doing anything like that. Just wait for it to turn off, then you can remove the lid, take out your crystal clear resin, and you're good to go. So I think I'll just pop you on a quick fast forward while it's doing this, then I'll see you back in a minute. So now that's down to its last 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4. You'll hear it kick in a minute and turn itself off, and then release its pressure, which it just did. So just wait for it to get back down to 0. Get all that pressure out of there, which it now has. So we can lift this off and take a look. So straight up with your lid, take that off and out the way. Right, let's have a look. Wow, that is crystal clear. Look at that, no bubbles at all. And to be honest, I think it could have done with like even less than 5 minutes. Right, let's get on to pouring. So we'll start with the little umbrella pot first. Just going to spray some 99% alcohol in there. There's lots of little details around the bottom here with these little ball areas. And then I'm just going to fill that one up. So just adding that nice and slowly. Just fill that one up to the top. Perfect. A little bit more. Right, that's that one done. And I just need to add a small amount into my little hangers here. So I don't want to dome these because they need to stick together. So just dropping that in there carefully. Same with the other side. So that's those two done. I think I just need to take a little bit off of that one. Right, that will do. Let's pop that to one side. And I think for the tray, I want a bit more sparkle in there. So I'm going to add some of the Unicone Art crushed crystal into this one. So let's just pop a little bit of that into there. And then slowly get that mixed in. Don't want to introduce too many bubbles now after I've just got them all out. Right, that will do, I think. So I'm just going to, let's just give that a quick squirt with some 99% alcohol as well. And then pour the rest of that into my tray. That's that one all topped up. I'll find something for my leftover resin. Just going to give that a quick go with my cigarette lighter. Pop any bubbles that might be on the top there. We'll leave this to cure and then I'll see you back for demold. These have all cured up now, and with the leftover resin I did a little turtle and just used the Let's Resin Chrome marker pen on his shell. So that's him, and also a little butterfly, and same again, I just edged the wings there with the chrome marker pen. Right, let's get these out next. Let's do these two. Lovely. So they will stick together like that for the handle of the umbrella. A little bit of trimming to do there, but that'll be okay. Right, let's have a look at the tray. Pop this one out. Lovely and clear. Beautiful, like that. Right, let's get this one out. Oh, and this one, I thought I had topped it right up to the top, but I hadn't. So I had to use a bit of the resin with the crushed crystal in. So there's a bit in the top. Right, I think this one's going to be a bit of a devil to get out because it's wider at the bottom than it is at the top. Let's just squirt a bit of 99% alcohol down there. Give that a little squish around. Break that seal off a bit. Right, let's see if we can... I think I'm going to need my belly, so I think I'll have to do this one off camera. So I'll get this one out. Let's just have one more try. Ooh. Get under that. Ooh. Come on. Oh, no, I'll have to use my belly. So I'll get this demolded and be back in a minute. Well, that was a little devil to get out, but it's out now, and look how crystal clear that is. You can see some of the crushed crystal down there, but as far as bubbles are concerned, that's lovely and clear, and no problems with the little bobbly bits on the top. They're all perfect and intact. Right, so next I think I'm going to use a chrome marker pen. This is the Let's Resin Silver Chrome Marker, and I'm going to go round and colour in all these bubbles at the top here. So while I do this, I'll also mention that today's video is part of the Friendship Express train that's organised by myself and Susie from Serendipity Creations and Tina from Pour Resin with Love. So there will be a playlist in my description box if you'd like to check that out. Right, and then I'm also going to go round this rim here in the silver as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the Let's Resin AIRZERO Pro bubble remover will be available to purchase from the 20th. So if you'd like to grab yourself one of those, there will be a code in my description box and a link in there. Right, let's just finish off the rest of this round here. It's looking pretty. Right, that last little one to go there. Right, so you don't need to see me doing any more to that. So I'll do that, finish that off. I need to go around these side bits as well, so I'll finish that off camera. Right, so next, let's get these two stuck together. So I'm just going to use some Gorilla Glue for this. Let's pop some on a little pot. Pop some on that. And then I'll just add some of that glue with a stick. Get that onto there. Get some down this bottom section. And then hopefully I'll be able to stick this together without sticking my fingers together. Pop that on there. Hold them down. Make sure they're lined up. So that's the umbrella handle done. Beautiful. Right, so I'll just finish off going around this and then I'll see you back in a minute. That's the silver all done around the tops there, and I have gone down these bits here as well, so that's all ready. And this, I must have over poured this a little bit, so I've had to file that just a tiny bit of that end down, just so it fits into that hole there. So I'm going to use some of the glue again, just some on the bottom there, and then place that down in that little hole, push that down. It's still a bit bendy, but it'll be okay. So that's the brolly all finished. Well, not all finished, but put together. So that's going to sit on there like that. So next I want to make some little water droplets. To do the water droplets, I've got here some fishing line, so I'm just going to attach that straight down onto my silicone mat. I'm just going to hold that down in place with some sellotape. So let's pop a bit on that end. I should have done it without my gloves on first, but here you go. Right, and then attach another bit of sellotape to hold it tight over the Oh, get off my glove. Over that side. Oh. Right, so that's nice and straight on there. And then I'm going to use some of the Let's Resin UV resin. This is the clear hard type. It might be a bit runny because it's been in my craft room and it's quite hot in the UK at the moment. So I'm just going to put some down on my mat there. And then using a little silicone tool, I'm just going to drop some little beads of that onto the fishing line. Get a few going on there, and then I'll do it in one long strip and then just cut them off as I need them on my umbrella. So let's just get a few of these on here first. I think that would probably do actually. So I'm just going to use UV lamp. This is the Let's Resin double-sided one. Just going to cure those for a couple of minutes and then peel those off my mat. Let's just take that tape off. Gently peel those up. And then I'm going to turn them over and then stick those back down. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach that the other side. Right, I'm not going to put my gloves back on, but I'm going to be ever so careful and not touch anything. That's already cured. So let's get a bit more UV down there. And then I'm just going to add some more of the UV on the top to make them not flat. So just add little drops just onto the top all the way along. Last couple to do at the end there. So that's them all with an extra bit on the top. Let's just see if there's any that need an extra bit. No, I don't think so. I think that's okay. So I'm just going to cure that again for a couple of minutes. So that's all my beads all done there. So we can peel these back off the mat. So we've got these little water driplets going on now. So I want to attach these to my umbrella. Let's just snip off some of this wire. I don't need that there and that there. Let's get rid of that for a minute. I don't know if I'm going to need some more, but I can make some more. Right, so next I want to attach this to the base. So I think I want that to sit about there. So for the time being, I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue with some activator spray and put some glue on these two little bubbles here. Put some glue there and there. Give that a quick spray with the activator and then set that down where I want it. Give it another quick blast. Right, so that's held in place on my tray there. So now to attach some of these little droplets to come down onto the base there. Let's cut these to some lengths. I don't want them all to actually hit the base. I think that one, I'll chop off maybe there. Let's do it the other way around. Let's chop that one off there. So that one can go onto there. Right, let's attach that with some UV. Just going to dip that end of the wire into my UV there. Hold that in place. and then cure that with the torch. So that's the first little droplets done. So same again, I think I'll do this one so it actually touches the floor. So let's chop that off about there. See if that lines up with the bottom, which it does. So same again, I'm just going to dip that into that UV there and then hold that in place and cure that one. So that's those two little drops there. That one's not quite touching the bottom, but it will once I do a layer of resin in here. So I'm just going to add a bit of resin. Where's that going to sit? There. Pop a bit there and then cure that into place. So that's that one done. So I'm just going to do the same thing to one here and one there. So I'll do that and then I'll see you back for the next bit. That's all my little water droplets added now to the side of the brolly. So loving how that's looking. So next I just want to add a few drops onto the top of the brolly, just little droplets, and then cure those one at a time. So just add in some here and there, a couple over there and that, a couple more. Right, I think that would do for the top of the brolly there. Right, so I'm just going to go and mix up some more resin and then I'm going to put some in the base here. I've mixed up some more of the Let's Resin 1:1 resin and I popped it through the AIRZERO Pro bubble remover, and I've got to say I'm so impressed with how quick it actually gets rid of the bubbles. That's lovely and crystal clear. So I'm just going to add, oh I think I've got hair there, let's get rid of that. Just going to add a thin layer of this into the bottom here. Still want it to be a tray, so don't want to put too much in. Let's swoosh that down the other end. Work that all the way down there and then just level that off. Now it's touching the handle of the umbrella, so that will give the umbrella a bit more stability. Right, I think that would do. I can't see any bubbles there to pop, but I'll give it a little zap with a torch anyway. Pop any that might be there. Right, so I'm going to leave this to cure now, but until it gets to like the tacky stage, and then I'm going to add some little water ripples round underneath the droplets here. So I'll see you back when it's ready to do that. The resin's at a point now where it's tacky, so I'm going to go in with the end of my brush here and just make some sort of ripple marks, just like it's dropping down the water there. Let's just do some around the back there as well. Just some little indentations just to give that effect. Hopefully it's at the point where it will stay. So just going around there, and then I'm going to use a dotting tool and just poke down and lift that up. And then the same over where this little droplet is here, and again under that one there. Just push it down and then lift it up. So that's how it's looking at the moment. Just looks like that water's dropping down there. So I might have to keep doing this over the next few minutes just to make sure it stays like it. So I'll do that, and then oh, that might attach to that like that, look. Can you see that? I'll carry on doing these, just making sure that those lines stay in there like that. So I'll see you back in a little while. This is all cured up now. Oh, and with the leftover resin I had for the top coat, I poured a butterfly. Look how crystal clear that is. You can see from the back actually how there's literally no bubbles in there. And considering how many like facets it's got in that mould, that's pretty impressive. So let's have a look at this. I did leave this too long actually for doing that sort of effect, but it still looks pretty cool, doesn't it, I think? Yeah, not too bad. So thank you so much to Let's Resin for sending me out this wonderful AIRZERO Pro resin bubble remover. Really impressed with this, and can't believe how quick it actually removes the bubbles. Super fast. So thank you ever so much for watching my video today. Stay tuned for the pictures at the end. Don't forget to check out that playlist in my description box and links for the bubble remover, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.
The friendship express is on its way, organized by myself and Susie. From Serendipity Creations and Tina from Pour Resin with Love. So if you wanna come along, just drop one of us a message. We're making room for you right here on the track. Friendship Express, hop on in. Friendship Express, come begin. Drop us a message.